Most architectural documentation includes tags. So we have tags for all sorts of things. We tag doors and windows and sometimes furniture and equipment. So in this video, let's look at the various kinds of tags that we can add and the tools that we have to add them. So this view already includes some room tags, and those came in as a consequence of adding the room objects, but none of the other elements are tagged yet. So rooms are special and they have their own tag method, but with all other categories, you're going to use the tag by category command. So you can find that on the quick access toolbar or on the annotate tab. So I'm going to click that button. Now, if we look at the options bar, there's a leader checkbox right here, and that's on by default. So what this means is, in addition to getting the symbol, in this case, a diamond, if I highlight a wall, or an oval, if I highlight a door, or a hexagon, if I highlight a window, notice that it's separated away from the object with a short leader line. Now, typically using a leader for walls is appropriate. So I'll start with my walls and then we'll disable the leader when we continue. So let's go ahead and add a few wall tags. I'll put one here and maybe here and in a few other locations. Okay, so now I'm going to turn off the leader option and tag a few of my doors. So I'll maybe do that one. And then also with the leader turned off, I'll pick a few of the windows. Now, I'm not going to keep going. I'm going to click the Modify tab to cancel because there's going to be a faster way to add the rest of the tags a little bit later. But before we get to that, let's talk about the values that the tags are actually showing. So in the case of the doors, let's zoom in just a little here. You can see that I got a different number for each of these doors. In the case of the windows, you can see I got the same number for both of the windows I tagged. And in the case of all the walls, my tag is blank. It's empty. So even though we were using the same command to create all of those tags, we got a different result for each one. So let's take a look at why that is. I'll select one of these diamond tags here. Notice that a little question mark appears in the middle of that tag. You can click right on that and edit that parameter value. So I'm going to change that value to A1 and press enter. Now, when I do, Revit will display a window telling me that I'm changing a type parameter and asking me if it's okay to continue. I'll answer yes. And notice that when I do that, several other wall tags filled in with that A1 designation. So why is that? Well, let's move over here to the wall itself and select it, and then go to the Properties palette and click the Edit Type button. In the Edit Type dialog, I'll scroll down and notice that the type mark value is now A1. So what the wall tag is looking at is the type mark designation for that wall. In other words, it's telling us what kind of wall this is. And that designation we've just simply called out as A1. So let me OK that, pan over here, and notice that this tag is still empty. Let me just sort of drag that out of the way a little bit. Well, I could either select this wall, go to Edit Type, fill in the type mark. Let's do B1 this time. Or I could select the tag and just edit the label directly. Either one does the same thing. Notice that this wall is now a type B1 wall. And more importantly, if I go back to tag by category, turn the leader back on, and tag this wall right next to it, notice that it is also a B1 wall. So now it shows the proper designation because I've filled that in. Now, if we move over here to these windows and select one of those and go to Edit Type and scroll down, these tags are showing number 18. The type mark is number 18. So the window tag has a different shape. It's a hexagon, but otherwise it's functioning the same way as the wall tag is. It's asking the window what its type mark designation is. Now let's go back to the doors. The doors are clearly not asking the type mark designation because if they were, it would be showing the same value because when I select this door, it's a single flush 36 by 84, and so is this one. And if I edit the type and scroll down, you can see that the type mark designation for those doors is 19, and that's not what we're seeing here. But instead, if I select this door and I look at the properties and scroll down, you can see that the objects also have a mark value. So the mark value is an individual mark for each and every instance. So this one is mark 3, this one is mark 4. So the door tags are just asking a different question. They're asking the door what their individual mark designation is as opposed to what their type mark designation is. All right, so now that we understand what information the tag is reporting, let's go ahead and add the rest of the tags to the floor plan. You can see that this door right here and these doors right here and these windows down here don't display any tags. So I could go back to tag by category and pick them one at a time, but if we go to the Annotate tab, there's a faster way. Here on the tag panel is a command called tag all not tagged. So I'll click that. That will display several categories of tags. And all you have to do here is check one or more boxes. And the cool thing about this command is you can actually select several categories in the same operation. Now I'll click apply here to add all of those tags and keep the dialog open just in case I want to make any changes. But notice that I now have door tags here, I have window tags here. So I'm satisfied with all of that and I'll click OK. Now, one other thing that I want to do here is sometimes you can have more than one tag loaded for the same category. So I'm going to select one of these wall tags, right click, and choose Select All Instances Visible in the View. And that will highlight all of the wall tags that I've previously added. If I come over here to the Properties palette, there are two sizes, the 1/2 inch size and the 1/4 inch size. I'm going to drop to the 1/4 inch size, and I like that a little bit better. So that's just a matter of personal preference, but you can see that even though the tag by category gave me one tag, I can easily change my mind. Now let's do one more thing. I'm going to open up the enlarged dining room plan, zoom in nice and close on some of these tables here, and let's say that I wanted to start tagging these tables. So I'll go back to tag by category, and I'll click on one of the tables. But that will tell me that I don't have a furniture tag loaded, but it's offering to load one for me right now. So I'll click yes here, and that will display the load family dialog and take me to my library folder. So I'll go into my annotations folder and then the architectural subfolder, and right here I have a furniture tag. I'll select it and click open. Now I'll click again on the table and notice it wants to use a leader. So let's turn that off and then click a few of these tables. Now, again, I'm not going to click all of them because we could use tag all not tag to do that. So let me cancel the command and I'll zoom in a little bit here. And this one is displaying the question mark. So let's go ahead and click on that question mark and type in T1. And what you'll see is it will display that same message again. I'll answer yes. And you're going to see T1 fill in for all three of the tables that I've already tagged. So that's because the default furniture tag is looking at the type mark value. So it's telling me what kind of table I have rather than what table number this is. Well, this is a restaurant. So maybe my client is more interested in numbering the tables and reporting that information instead. So let me select one of these tables, scroll down, and notice that the mark value is currently empty. So let's make this table 1. I'll select this one, make that table 2, select this one, and make it table 3. Now, of course, you won't see those designations appear in the tags. That's because the tag is still looking at type mark. So let's select one of those tags and edit the family. Now, that takes me into the family editor looking at the tag itself. The piece of text in the middle is called a label. I'll select it. Over here on the Properties palette, there's the label with an Edit button. I'll click Edit. And you can see now very clearly that that label is looking at the type mark parameter. Let's use this red arrow here to remove that, locate the mark property instead, and add that into the label and click OK. Now you don't really see any difference on screen, but we've now just changed this tag to look at the instance mark value instead of the type mark value. Best practice says we ought to save this, so let's go to File, Save As, and Family. And it wants to put it in my architectural library folder here, but I'm just going to put this on my desktop. So I'll put that on my desktop, give it a name, and save. Now up here on the ribbon is a Load into Project and Close button. So that will close this family and load it into my current project. So let me click that. And that actually runs the tag command and kind of puts me in that mode. So I'm going to click the modify tool to cancel, go back to my enlarged dining room plan, select one of these tags, right click, select all the instances like we did a moment ago. And now notice on the properties palette that I have two versions of the tag, the original one and my new instance tag. I'll choose the boxed option, and now those tags show the table number instead of the table type. So if ever you find yourself in a situation where the tag that you loaded in isn't giving you the information that you want to see, it's very easy to customize that tag and create a new copy of it. So using a combination of tag by category and tag all, you'll find that it's very easy to add all the tags that your documentation requires.